Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. The pride of Mount Vernon, George Washington. Yikes. Anyways, welcome to the absolute shit show that is my YouTube channel. Yummy. I need some caffeine. I woke up, get that out of here. I woke up, I don't even know how long ago. It's 12:20. I woke up about an hour ago, and I'm in dire need of a soda. What are we talking about today? This is an interesting topic today, and it's interesting because I'm making a video about it. And you wouldn't really expect somebody to make a video about why they're never going to start anything. For the past 6 months, I have been living at my mother's house, at the home that I moved out, and then moved right back into because I couldn't afford to move out. And I did that for a very specific reason. Personal goals. Me and my girlfriend have very specific goals that we want to do, and we can't afford to fund those goals as quick as we want to, and also pay rent on an apartment or a home or whatever. So we moved back in with my mom and made ourselves a little apartment here, and we're gonna stay here for however long until she kicks me out. And I'm not afraid to admit that because I'm 20-something years old in the middle of a pandemic trying to become a filmmaker, and that's just a blessing and a half. So yeah, I'm living with my mother. What are you gonna do about it? I feel so much better. When I tried to make YouTube videos a long time ago, I was trying to make them like specific creators, and I was trying to make them like this or like this, and I was trying to make them what would get views, and I just want to talk to a camera. Like, I do not feel the need to be like chasing views or chasing likes, and I used to because that's what all the big and best creators were doing. And then it turns out that the big and best creators don't chase likes, they just chase what they want to do. They chase their passion. And that's kind of what I was doing at the start of the new year, December 21. I really made a decision to not do any more weddings, and I was completely gonna shut that off, and I was gonna leave the wedding industry at this moment for good, and try to do something a little bit different, try to do something that I don't think has been offered to a lot of creative people, to a lot of people like me. And I can't spoil anything. I've had this in my brain for a solid 3 months now, and I can't spoil anything because it is launching on January 15th, so, which I think, if I'm correct, it's a week from the time that you see this video. What are we talking about today in this video, however? Now that I've kind of caught everybody up, you know, for the people who actually care, what are we talking about? We're going to talk about why I'm never going to start anything. I know that is like so seemingly counterproductive, and it also kind of hypocritical because I am starting something huge, but why I was never going to start 6 months ago, why I was never going to start even 1 month ago, why I decided to start now and start launching this now. I never started doing anything, like I left weddings about the time that I moved in here, so about 6 months ago. I decided that I was not going to do any more weddings from that moment on. I wasn't going to take any more inquiries. I was going to finish out the ones that I had in 2021 and then not do any more. That was it. I was just going to do the ones in 21 and call it a day. Now, I realized that the reason that I started doing weddings and not actually chasing what I was passionate about was, for one, it was all about money. And of course it is, because I live in America and everything's about money. All I saw were dollar signs. I'm pretty sure I watched one video of somebody saying that they made like over $120,000 a year filming weddings, and I was like, done, sign me up. But what nobody informs you of, and they do, but they don't. It's a really weird situation because you hear this all the time. Small business owners, entrepreneurs, creative people, whatever, they'll always say it is so much work. And it is a lot of work. Weddings were a lot of work to me, but they weren't fun work to me. I was not passionate about weddings. I never really was. I tried my best to. I tried everything, but I was not passionate about them. And so therefore, I was only chasing the money when I was working for them, which sucks. That's not a good service to provide. That means that somebody's biggest day of their life, their wedding videographer shows up and I don't care. That is rude and something that I would never want to do to a person. And so when I kind of figured out that, okay, weddings is really not for me, I immediately shut everything down. I was like, I can't keep doing this to people. I showed up and I put my all into it. And some wedding videos that I made were actually really good. And I put 110% in there every single time that I showed up. But when in reality, I was not passionate about it. But I had to be. I forced myself to be because other people were and they were making a lot of money. And I was chasing that. I have not made a single dollar in about 7 months now. I wish I was kidding you, but I'm not. I have not made money in a long time. And I don't plan to. And what's great is I don't even care. Like, I am quite literally the happiest that I've ever been, and there's 3 cents in my bank account. I'm not even kidding you either. I could pull it up. The next thing that really went into a lot of the struggle of getting going was that I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea. I was like, well, if you can't make money, well, you can, but if you're not passionate about weddings, which is almost guaranteed money, and I mean, there is job security in weddings. Let's just admit that right now. If you don't like doing weddings, then what are you gonna do? How else are you gonna make money? And I felt a lot of pressure from myself and from other people to make money. And part of that was because I had a house that I had to pay for. I mean rent, but I had rent that I had to pay for. I had bills. And so when we decided to chop all of those off, I could afford to not make money for a long period of time, as long as my girlfriend was still making money. And that kind of makes me sound like a little shithead, but I was in the process of spending those 6 months figuring out what the hell I want to do with my life. I mean, I made my last wedding video and I was like, oh my God, I'm done. Well, what do I do now? I have always had this infatuation with creators on YouTube and on Instagram and who are doing amazing things with film. I love Peter McKinnon. I love Becky and Chris. Lizzie, Pierce, Chris Howe, I love them all. And they're all Canadian. And I was like, I want to make videos like these. I want to make videos like these guys. But it's so hard to get into that YouTube realm. So I was constantly telling myself, you can't make YouTube videos for a living. You can't do it. No matter how many times those goddamn people have said you can make YouTube full-time. You can make a living doing YouTube. I believed myself that you could not make YouTube videos full-time. Even though that was like partially my dream. And then we get into a creator that I found recently. Actually, not so recently, but I subscribed to him like a couple of months ago, but I just watched a first video of his 2 weeks ago. I don't know why. Mark Bone. Let me talk to you about Mark Bone real quick. If you don't know who Mark Bone is, he's an awesome documentary filmmaker who has done documentaries for a lot of different brands, Nike, Nikon, and he talks about unknown people, unknown individuals. And one of my favorite documentaries from him, by him, is Kill or Be Killed, is what it's called. It's about an MMA fighter turned firefighter, and he talks about using his body for destruction in MMA fighting versus using his body for saving people and saving lives and giving back to the community through firefighting. And it's amazing. The shots are just wonderful. I love the rules he set in place. I could go on and on about that, about that documentary. But I kept thinking to myself, that seems so cool. That's the dopest shit I've ever seen. But then he makes YouTube videos kind of on the side about filmmaking and about life and about all this stuff that he wants to talk about. And I thought, why can't I do that? Why can't I do filmmaking and YouTube on the side? Why can't I do that? I'll give you a hint. I can. For a long time, I was trying to convince myself to do something easy. And to me, wedding films were easy. And I didn't really notice it until one of the wedding films that I did for an amazing couple. Loved them. They're awesome. I started doing the same shots over and over and over again. I wasn't really getting creative with my shots, my shot placements, like how I was doing things. To me, every wedding looked the same through my camera lens. I've always said, even at the beginning of my wedding filmmaking career, that I wanted to create stories. I wanted to tell people stories. What better way to do that than tell people's love story? Unfortunately, that's not what I'm passionate about. I tried it. I'm glad I tried it to figure out that I didn't really like it. I'm moving on. We're going to do something else. We're going to do something different. And that's where telling other people's stories comes into play when I'm launching on the 15th of January. I was trying to be something that I'm not. I saw people on the internet doing crazy things with filmmaking. People who have been doing it for years. I have been doing filmmaking for years. I've been doing filmmaking since kind of the 6th grade. I made my first film in 6th grade. I did it in high school. I learned how to edit in high school. I learned how to edit very well in high school. And then I jumped immediately into doing weddings. That, to me, was that time period of figuring out how to use a camera, how to tell what shots to get, how to do different shot composition. It was nowhere near the caliber of filmmaking that somebody like Peter McKinnon can make. And I kept comparing myself. And I know, the number one cardinal rule of being creative is don't ever compare yourself to others, which is true. Don't ever compare yourself to others. But when you do, realize who you're comparing yourself to. So I actually have in my little Milanote section thingies, I have a little reminder that says Peter McKinnon is married with kids. It's true. Becky and Chris are 30 years old over, I think. Nicholas Crystal didn't start his YouTube channel until 24. Remind yourself who you're comparing yourself against. And that has really helped. I was so afraid of copying somebody's work that I didn't produce my own work. I was so afraid of copying somebody else's work that I copied somebody else's work. And I actually never released the video because when I watched it back, I was like, oh my God, this is Peter McKinnon's video. I copied almost like shot for shot his video. And so I never released it because that would be dumb and stupid and a shitty thing to do. And it was fun to make, kind of. It was bad. It was not a good video, but it was a video that was a lot like one of Peter McKinnon's videos. And so I decided, I can't release this. If there's one thing that I want you to take away from this video, it would be this. Sometimes life throws you a curveball. And that's okay. Because it really does happen. And sometimes you get into a field and you're like, oh yeah, I'm so excited, I'm so pumped, and then the passion drains. And that's okay. I don't want anyone who watches this video to be chasing dollar signs. I did it for about 2 years and it just sucked the life out of me. Chase your passion and eventually the dollar signs will follow. If you watch this video I do want to say thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for chilling out. I'm going to try to do about 2 videos a week. We're going to see what kind of workload I take on. I'm really excited. I think I'm going to do a video every Sunday, no matter what. A video every Sunday, no matter what, and then maybe one on Wednesday, depending on what goes down. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate y'all. And I will see you in the next one. Later.